The Diary of Dr. X, Episode 25. Becoming the Researched 1. This is a Bob Marley paper if you've never seen one. Anyways, it started as just another normal day for Dr. X. Really good score on Roslyn Road near the Osborne Street Bridge. A 24, 2 12s, and a 6 sitting by the dumpster. A heavy load since they were all bottles, but I hauled them into the zoo's vendor and cashed for the first time that day. Over $5. Next round, I found a bag of Molson Dry, 13 of them, behind an apartment on River Avenue. This place is regular. I suppose I don't always get them due to the competition, but it is always the same. Safeway bag containing 10 to 20 cans and a bit of garbage, which usually includes cigarette butts, maybe some coffee grounds, assorted other items, and almost always a little cooked rice. Don't know why that is. Maybe they do it on purpose, just so I have to wash them. The people who leave them for us intentionally leave them in boxes or bags next to the dumpster or recycle bins, not in them and without garbage mixed in, which of course is very much preferable. 5 minutes later, I found a box of 12 empty cans in a recycling bin in what I call the good alley, the one between River and Roslyn Road. This is due to its past record of producing a lot of bottles and cans over the years. Back home for a second time to unload after that. Hung out for a bit, played Travian, then went out for my third round. It was a beautiful summer evening, hot, with a nice breeze to cool you down. I was wearing shorts. I decided to check the dumpsters around the towers in the northwest corner of the village, one of the most heavily populated neighborhoods in all of Canada, in fact. All apartment towers, often good scores in that area. So I'm looking through a long row of recycle bins between 3 of the towers, opening each one after the other. I have often found cases or bottles or boxes of cans left next to the dumpsters in this area, as many of the buildings are condos or high-end rentals, affluent area. "Hey, Dr. X!" someone shouts from above. What the hell was my first thought? I looked up, and there was Zuki on a 6th-floor balcony. Figured he was visiting or something at first, maybe invited to a party or something. "I've got cans for you, meet you at the side door," he shouts. I finished checking the recycle bins and dumpsters for cans as I waited for him to come down, and then met him at the building a few moments later. He had a box of 12 cans with him for me. "Would you like to come up for a beer?" he asked. "This is my new place, $800 a month. Got a swimming pool." I was familiar with the area, or the building. "Wow," I said. "I'd love to. Never been in this building before." So in we went. "How was your binning today?" he asked. "Okay," I said. "Doing pretty well." "I'll introduce you to my fiancée as well," he said, as we boarded the elevator. "But don't tell anyone, at least not yet. Things aren't finalized." So we arrive on the balcony after he cracks me a beer and offers me a smoke, and who do we find? Mandy. I think you met her in the first episode, smoking a joint with me in the Osborne Village Green or the Dark Park. Another regular homeless panhandler type like Zuki, apparently. They've hooked up now. She has a broken ankle at the moment from a friendly wrestling match with another girl who works the street as a squeegee person, I learn. I sign her cast with DRX and add a heart at her request, as she is collecting those. So, there the 3 of us are, in an upscale apartment, sitting on the patio, enjoying a cool evening breeze after a hot summer day. We're drinking Zuki's beer and smoking cigarettes. He still drinks high-test beer, same as before. How he affords all this, I didn't know at the time, but I found out since it was some kind of program for the homeless. I know he worked for a short time also before he had a heart attack, being in his 50s and all, and maybe the medical condition and the job helped him get into the program. It's nice to see him with a place to live in any case, as I know for a fact he spent about 15 years in the street and last winter tenting out in the Manitoba cold over the winter. Turns out, as the conversation goes on, most of Mandy's family is dying of cancer or one thing or another, and she breaks down in tears at one point. Zooey consoles her, and I suggest that, well, yeah, you have every reason to cry, and you should. As we sit there, overlooking the village, Zuki identifies almost every person who walks by below and tells me which apartment they live in, even though he's only been there a couple months. No surprise. He knows everyone. It's a skill he learned in the street. He also spied a woman leaving valuables by the dumpster near her apartment across the way, bringing them out in a Safeway shopping cart. I'll have to see if there's anything I can use down there, I said on my way home. After I've had 2 more beers and a couple of their tailor-made smokes, they begin to prepare a barbecue. Baked potatoes, mixed vegetables on the stove, and some kind of cheap canned meat. I've got to get home before dark anyways, I said, gesturing towards my round John Lennon-style sunglasses, which was all I had with me, with the sun going down. Okay, Suzuki said, before he filled up a second 12 box of cans for me to take. Cool, I said. I can just go home for the rest of my cans and cash for my beer now. I may be out later for butts, though. Me and Mandy may go out panhandling later also, he replied. It was then when I realized that I had become the people I was researching, and how much scavenging had become not only a part of my life, but normal for me, a part of my identity. Just as they would continue to panhandle, dressing as they always had while homeless, even while living in a nice apartment. In the same way, scavenging would never leave me. I could never walk by a phone or newspaper box again without checking it for change, nor walk by a Safeway shopping cart with a quarter in it without cashing in. Even when I was teaching last winter, which I just talked about, I continued to pick up beer cans and butts whenever I saw them on the way to and from work or the store. Sure, I didn't make a point of going out for them because I had money, but I couldn't pass them up either. And yes, I did check next to that dumpster Zuki pointed out on the way home. Just an old microwave oven and some kitchenware I didn't need. Hey, X! He shouted from the balcony shortly after I checked it. Have a good night! I flashed him a peace sign, took a stroll down the alley behind River Avenue, then through the Fort Rouge Park, found more cans, and then went home and cashed for 10 more beers. All I could think of when I got home was that I was now one of them. Permanently. Because it's not a reputation that you can ever live down.